Good evening, my name is Garrett and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Heaven Hill. This is their bottled and bond Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey coming in at a 50% ABV, 7-year age statement. So finally in my market, it has come to a price point that I felt good enough to buy it at, because once this dropped, people were clamoring for it and buying it by the boatload, and the secondary market was just really running with this bottle. Now, the interesting thing behind this one, for a lot of people that have been around the block with whiskey, is that Heaven Hill used to have a 6-year-old bottle and bond that we assumed was 6 years old, but it was about half the price as this one and was a Kentucky exclusive. So they finally decided to bump it up in age statement, also bumped it up in price, and release it nationwide. Now, when it comes to bottled and bond, we do know a select few things about this bottle. Obviously, it's 50% ABV. It's at least 4 years old. In this case, it's 7. It is aged in a government bonded warehouse. All the grain is harvested in a single season. And finally, it's all done under one master distiller. Now, I don't have any reference points when it comes to the original bottled and bond coming from Heaven Hill, so I'm hoping to come in here with a fresh set of eyes and taste buds, but nonetheless, let's get into it. As always, we'll be trying it 2 different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll add a drop of water, see what changes up. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of good stuff. And I'll link some other Heaven Hill products that I've reviewed or will review at some point, up above and down below when they're live. But until then, maybe you'll see some bottled and bond reviews, because those are always fun. But yeah, this is a bottle that the secondary market just ran with a little too much. And even in my market here in Indiana, we ran into a pretty stringent pricing on it. It was kind of bullshitty. And I refuse to pay that kind of money. I just do. I just refuse. So I knew eventually it'd come down to a price that I felt acceptable. Beautiful dark color. Got a good thickness. Yeah. All right. Let's go for notes. Smells like a good Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Beautiful oak layer in there. Vanilla caramel. ABV is definitely there, but that'll probably air out as we keep going here. Nice oak and spice are playing together well. The spice layer is very subtle, very nice on that. Little grain on there as well. I mean, to be frank, it's a very classic nose on a bourbon whiskey. Again, there is a little bit of that dustiness going on here. It's almost going nuttiness, like a Jim Beam kind of nuttiness, but not quite there. So, let's go for taste. Yeah. Nice solid oak layer, very wood forward. A little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla. Very dry. It's actually drying out my palate quite a bit. Got a good warmth to it. No ABV burn or anything off like that. The subtle grain spice going on here is nice. And overall, I mean, it's a good bourbon whiskey. There is nothing I can really criticize deeply on it. Again, I don't have a reference point to their original bottled and bond, so I can't do that. But there's definitely a nuttiness in there. And it's not bad. I don't mind like Jim Beam's nuttiness. But there's like a dry, dusty, nutty note going on. Got a good warmth to it. It coats the palate pretty decently. And maybe a little like that dryness is almost going like a dry leather note. Yeah, that's not bad. I think that's an acceptable bourbon whiskey. I have nothing against this. Went back for my third sip. Nothing really changed there. Just good solid oak. Maybe a little bit of tannins going on in there. That beautiful. It's not a super sweet bourbon. It's got a little bit to it, but not heavy-handed in that note. I got nothing to say bad. It's okay. It's good. If you poured me this and told me it was a straight bourbon whiskey, I would say, you're right. It tastes exactly like one. Let's add a little dash of water. See what changes up here. There we go. All right, let's go for notes. Ooh. Maybe a little sweeter. Yeah. It goes a little sweeter, and it tones everything back about, I'd say 20-30%. But it's still got a lot of character on the nose. A lot of heft in there. Definitely the oak and the tannins are still showing up. A little bit of vanilla sweetness in there. That's nice, though. It's not bad at all. Let's go for taste. Actually, that's not bad either. It goes very simple. Even more classic than this was. Like, I closed my eyes, I would not have been able to tell you anything about it. I'd been like, it's a bourbon whiskey. The dustiness that I was getting is gone. And then it goes maybe a couple percentages sweeter. But that's not bad at all either. No harshness, no ABV. Very classic on there as well. I was waiting to see something else pop up because this is probably the most straight cut review I've ever done. Oh, I like that warmth. That's got a lot more warmth to it. Obviously, we proofed it down, so it's losing a lot of character. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. I got nothing bad to say about it. It's pretty solid. That's a good, solid, classic oak, vanillas, caramels, little sweetness, that dusty layer in there. Yeah, got nothing bad to say. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. I ended up paying $50 for it. And from what it seems like, it looks like most markets should be priced in this about $40 to $50. I've seen some reference to it being about $39.99. And to be honest, I don't think that's a bad price. I think it's okay. I wouldn't overpay for this. I've had a lot of similar bourbons in this same wheelhouse. Though it does have that 50% ABV, the bottled bond, the 7-year age statement. It's good, don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't pay over $50 for it again. This would be a great example. If you love Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, this is exactly what you're looking for, I feel like. It's got all the characteristics, good warmth, good ABV to it. Yeah. I seen the secondary market on this. What is it? Flaviar right now has it for $70.99. My market, when I seen it before, was up to that number, $69.99, I think it was. It's not worth that. Don't pay $70 plus for it. But for $50, I wouldn't pay over that. I would pay as close to $40 as possible, no more than $50, in my opinion. So there you have it, folks. Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. I love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.